You've become a true hero of Skyrim.
Let's head on straight over to MO2. There are a few tweaks to do with our mod priority. Let's get stuck in. So, let's start with our first separator bug fixes and move USSEP to the top of the list. Next, scroll on down, find XP32 and let's move it up under SSE engine fixes. Next up, MCM Kicker. We're actually going to move this into our second category, under Overhaul and UI. Our MCM Helper mod will go just above the MCM Kicker. Our main menu mods are going to be moved further down our mod priority. Select both of these and place them under Inventory and Menu. Select our 3 Overhaul audio mods. We're going to move these up and place them just above Race Menu. Remember to keep them in the same order as before. Next up, High Poly Project. This will go just beneath Static Mesh Improvement mod. Now let's bring Rustic Clutter Collection up and WACCF, Weapons, Armor, Clothing and Clutter fixes, just beneath it. Our alternate start mods will be moved further down the mod priority list. For now, we'll place these right at the bottom of our mod priority. Now let's move Point the Way up our list under Environment. Whilst under Environment, select our 3 ELFX mods and move them down to the bottom of the mod priority list. We can also put our patch hub in between alternate start and ELFX. For categories 5, 6, 7, 8, they will stay the same as before. Now moving on down, let's place our Nemesis output just beneath Nemesis. Now let's head on over to Nexus Mods with Ethereal Cosmos. We're actually going to download this and replace the 4K galaxies we've already got installed. Now back to MO2. Once the file is downloaded, we can double click to install. Ensure you enable the mod and let's move it into position. It's going to sit right where 4K Stars and Galaxies is, so place it beneath. Then on 4K Stars and Galaxies, right click and select Remove Mod. Now back to Nexus Mods. First, Skyrim Project Optimization SE. There's a few mods here that's going to help speed up the processes taking place behind the scenes. Base Object Swapper. Lighten Skyrim. This uses Base Object Swapper, reduce the amount of textures that are loaded into the game that can't be seen by the player. Armor and Clothing Extension, and requires both Rustic Clothing and WACCF, which we have installed. Skyrim SE Skill Interface Retexture, a nice little addition that changes the appearance of our skills menu. Lightens JK's Whiterun, again lightening the amount of resources used by your PC. This specifically applies to JK's Whiterun, which we have installed. It requires Base Object Swapper, which we've just downloaded. hold border banners, a nice little addition that puts banners on the edges of each of the holds. Crafting supplies all in one. This is more of a cheat, as this provides chests containing thousands of each of the items. If you wanted to test out some of the mods we're about to install, this is a good way of doing so. PC exclusive animations, Open Animation Replacer version. We're using OAR instead of DAR, so our mods for animations will need to be using Open Animation Replacer instead. As you can see, the requirements we all have installed. Organic player animations. This is also for Open Animations Replacer. Conditional armor type animations. You may have heard of this before, a mod designed for DAR. However, this version is specifically for Open Animation. Go tier animations. Idle, walk and run for male. Immersive equipping animations. This provides a small animation whenever you add or remove a piece of clothing, armor or jewelry in-game. As you can see, this requires MCM Helper, which we already have installed. Complete Crafting Overhaul Remastered. You may have come across this one before, offering an entirely new way of creating items in-game. The MCM menu allows you to decide how you do so. The backported extended ESL support is only for versions previous. Complete Crafting Overhaul Remastered, Settings Loader, and optimized meshes for ENB lights. Another little improvement on our ENB lighting. With those downloaded, go back to MO2. Now let's install these one by one. We will start with Base Object Swapper. Ensure you select the Anniversary Edition version and click Install. Up next, Lightened Skyrim. Lightened JK's Whiterun. Skyrim SE's Project Optimization. Skyrim SE Skill Interface Retexture. A pop-up window will appear, giving you a number of options for you to choose from. Choose whichever suits your preference and click Install. Optimized ENB light meshes. Choose your preference and click Install. Crafting supplies all in one. Hold border banners. Armor and clothing extension. Complete Crafting Overhaul Remastered. CCOR Settings Loader. Now our animations. PC exclusive animations. Organic player animations. Conditional armor type animations. Go-tier male animations for walk and run. And immersive equipping animations. With those installed, make sure you enable them by ticking the boxes to the left of the mod names. Now let's move these into position. Our base object swapper will go up towards the top of our mod priority. Place this just underneath ENB helper. Lightened Skyrim, which uses base object swapper, will need to go beneath it. That way our base object swapper is loaded first. Lightened JK's Whiterun. This will need to go beneath JK's Whiterun, not up with the other two, as it relies on files from JK's Skyrim. Skyrim Project Optimization SE. This will go right underneath USSEP. SSIRT. I've decided to quickly rename this to make it easier to understand what it is that it does. Abbreviations at the beginning of mod names are very useful for being able to stay organized. It will also allow you to clearly see where patches need to be put in the mod priority. I suggest doing this for all the main overhaul mods, as a lot of them are often referred to by their abbreviations. Now let's move SSIRT and place it beneath WACCF. Armor and Clothing extension will also go between SSIRT and WACCF. Our crafting supplies all-in-one will be placed under category 13, cheats. Our complete crafting overhaul remastered will go under crafting, our 17th separator. Hold border banners can be placed beneath JS Dragonclaws, under Visual, Textures and Atmosphere. As for our animation mods, you can select all 5 and move them up under the Animation Framework beneath Open Animation Replacer. Now the Patch Hub contains patches that include a couple of the mods we've just installed. Because of this, you will now need to reinstall this. Right-click, select Reinstall, and you'll be met with a pop-up window. You will now see the options selected for ACE and CCOR, the Armor and Clothing extension, and the Complete Crafting Overhaul Remastered that we've just installed. This will automatically install those patches for you. As we go through the list, double check to make sure you haven't got any of the others installed. If you've been following the guide so far, you shouldn't have, and click Install. Now let's sort our plugins. Visit the Plugins tab and click Sort. With that complete, you can close out. It is important that we now update Nemesis with our new animation mods. So, from the drop-down tab, click Nemesis and select Run. Ensure that True Directional Movement, which we have installed, is selected here. Then click Update Engine. Once that is completed, you can click Launch Nemesis Behavior Engine. This may take a moment, depending on your PC, but once it's complete, it will count the number of animations that it is installed and display it in the window. As you can see here, 392. You can now close Nemesis. Now before you launch Skyrim through SKSE, it is important that you are aware that mods are often updated. When they are updated, you will need to update them yourself. For example, here, recently since we installed Power of Three's tweaks, a newer version has been released. Mod Organizer will prompt you about this. In order to update, we will need to do so manually. You can right-click and select Visit on Nexus, which will launch the Nexus page for that mod. Visit the Files tab and find the most recent version for your game build. Once downloaded, double-click to install, select your game version, and click Install. It will now prompt you to rename or replace. We want to replace this. Double-check it's still enabled, and you're good to go. Stay tuned, there's more to come. Perfect time for a brew.